The Detroit News reported that the Cadillac Escalade EV will actually be produced in less than 2 years' time in 2024. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. I'm coming to you here from Melbourne, Australia. Welcome to all your new subscribers. Welcome back to everyone else. Check out some of the 1,000 videos we've created over the last, 6 months. So yeah, there's that. A lot of content there is not going to be anywhere else on YouTube. You'll learn a fair bit from the channel because we don't focus on one brand. We focus on the entire automotive market. GM, Ford, Hyundai, Tesla, Volkswagen, everyone. General Motors, what are they doing? Well, the Escalade is kind of a pimp vehicle, but let's be frank here. It's a massive gasmobile. If we can electrify these things, the sooner the better. I think it would actually be a legitimately cool vehicle if it was electric. The fact that it's still pretty old school, pretty, boxy, it's loud, it's kind of old. Electrify the thing, I think that turns it into a cool mobile, but that's just my view. According to a report from the Detroit News, Cadillac Escalade EV will enter production as early as January 2024. That would put its launch in the same year as the Range Rover electric vehicle. That's assuming Range Rover haven't gone bankrupt by then. But that said, they are owned by Tata, so Tata probably has plenty of cash to continue bankrolling the company. Production. Citing Auto Forecast Solutions Sam Fiorani, the Detroit News report said the Cadillac EV's production might take place at the Factory Zero plant in Michigan, the production site of the Hummer EV SUV. That would make a lot of sense, I reckon. Mary Barra, Chair and CEO GM, has revealed that the company will convert another truck plant into an EV truck plant. This could be the Arlington assembly plant in Texas that is home to all the company's American full-size SUVs. Now, TopElectricSUV.com says that this factory rolls out the Cadillac Escalade and the Escalade ESV, Chevrolet Suburban and the Tahoe, and GM says Yukon and Yukon XL. It could become an EV truck plant just before the middle of the decade and make the same models with electric powertrains. It actually makes a lot of sense because GM have said they're going to electrify, 35 vehicles by 2025. Obviously, it has to be all of these models because otherwise how on earth are they going to get there? This would make total sense. Here's what she said, Mary Barra. We will continue to convert ICE capacity to EVs and plan to invest in a third EV truck plant. We are formulating plans for the truck plant right now, and we will share more as we work through these details. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because GM doesn't really make money from its general passenger cars. It makes money from pickup trucks. And are they really going to make money from a $30,000 Equinox? I don't think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. Having that vehicle out there as a promotional marketing tool is great. But I suspect they might even lose money on those in order to be able to get people to the brand. Essentially, buy the Equinox and, Equinox for the wife, pickup truck for the husband. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty old school thinking, but that could be the way they go. GM wants to expand its EV production capacity in North America to 1 million units by 2025. This number includes the production capacity for 600,000 electric trucks. 600,000 trucks. That's a pretty big number. If they can do that in 2025, that would be really, really good for GM. We have set a target to deliver 400,000 EVs in North America over the course of 2022 and 2023. Now, in comparison to Ford are aiming for 600,000. Interesting to see how they compare there. As you know, we have also announced additional battery cell and assembly capacity investments in Michigan. That will give us more than 1 million units of EV capacity in North America by the end of 2025. And this includes 600 full-size pickup trucks. So what evidence do we have that this vehicle, this big beast, will actually be converted to an electric pickup? Well, GM actually submitted a new trademark application for the Escalade IQ in some countries last year, one of which, Switzerland, has even approved it. The Cadillac Escalade IQL could be a pure electric variant of the Escalade LSV, long wheelbase Escalade. Similarly, the Cadillac Escalade IQ could be the standard wheelbase zero emissions variant, say TopElectricSUV.com. In fact, sounds like a foregone conclusion. Why else would you call it that? Now, Car and Driver reported back in March 2020 that Cadillac is working on an electric version of the Escalade. And the American publication had a look at the concept vehicle. So they had a concept. It sounds like they actually had a concept built by March 2020. That was 2 years ago. So you'd think they'd be fairly far along the production timeline by now. Car and Driver shared observations of the Escalade EV concept from the secret preview. It says that the electric variant of the vehicle is more aerodynamic with a steeply raked windshield and a less boxy body, but still unmistakably an Escalade. The exterior can't look overly futuristic or funky like the EVs emerging out of startup companies. An Escalade, be it an EV or ICE model, has to look stately and unequivocally American. We understand that Therese Pinazzo, the Escalade's exterior design manager, and the design team building the electric variant won't risk straying from the original work. I think it'll probably be similar to the way that General Motors changed the style of the Silverado pickup truck. It sort of looks similar but more futuristic in comparison to the current Silverado 1500. So what platform will it use? Apparently, top electric SUVs say it will be positioned above the electric Cadillac Lyriq, which has actually just been produced. Apparently GM have got the first few cars off the production line for the Lyriq, which is great news. And those vehicles will reach customers within the next month or so. Essentially, General Motors now has the Ultim platform technology to quickly spin off electric variants of popular nameplates such as the Escalade, the Hummer, Silverado, and even the Corvette, or introduce new body styles altogether. At the heart of this flexibility is its Ultim battery technology, which are pouch-style cells that can be stacked vertically or horizontally inside the battery pack. So what, in theory, powertrain would it come with? The Cadillac Escalade EV could get the most powerful unit of GM's 3 new Ultim driver electric motors. With these motors, one permanent magnet synchronous motor produces 255 kilowatt or 342 horsepower. Put two of those together, you're looking at 510 kilowatt or around about 684 horsepower. Apparently, it's possible to power both front and rear wheels with the PMSM. The company says that it has developed it for performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive applications. However, as you know, with the Hummer, it can also come in a tri-motor variant. In the 2022 GMC Hummer EV, 3 units of the 255 kilowatt motor provide a combined power output of 1,000 horsepower. That's a GM estimate. Expect the Cadillac Escalade EV to come with 2 or 3 255 kilowatt motors, depending on the variant. GM has said it plans to use silicon carbide in the integrated power electronics of its next-gen EV's Ultim drive units. Silicon carbide can improve the EV's range, reduce its weight, and conserve space. The company has partnered with Wolfspeed for the development and sourcing of silicon carbide power device solutions. Wolfspeed has the world's largest silicon carbide fabrication facility located in Marcy, New York. Its electric propulsion systems are usable in EVs with 400 volt and 800 volt and even higher system voltages. GM could use its silicon carbide in the integrated power electronics of the Cadillac Escalade's EV's Ultim drive unit. So what about battery and range? GM's third generation global EV platform can house Ultim cells with battery capacities from 50 to 200 kilowatt hours. That's a massive battery, giving it huge bandwidth for changes. Potentially 50 kilowatt hour battery, that's probably more like the Equinox SUV. Then you'll be looking at with one of these big Escalades, the 200 kilowatt hour battery. The Cadillac Escalade EV is likely to see the highest capacity battery on offer because of its size and the fact that it's the flagship vehicle. GM claims the largest Ultim battery can do 400 plus miles or 640 kilometers on a single charge in the Silverado. So in this vehicle here, I'm going to guess the range would be a little bit smaller because of its massive size. Now, what about charging? Well, the Escalade EV will benefit from DC fast charging in the guise of the 800 volt, 350 kilowatt capability, as this is planned for GM's truck platform series. It would offer about 100 miles of range for only 10 minutes of charging. Importantly, the Escalade's EV batteries should have a very high level of local content. Lithium is a key material for the battery's cathodes and electrolytes, and currently it is an imported material in most cases. The Golden Bowtie plans to source US-based lithium for its next generation EV batteries. which are likely to find their way in future models like the Cadillac Escalade EV. Makes sense, right? If you haven't heard, GM plans to form an investment and commercial collaboration with Controlled Thermal Resources, CTR, based in the US to source lithium locally and at a low cost. The company says that the production of lithium will take place through a closed-loop direct extraction process. Compared to traditional lithium mining processes like evaporation, ponds, or pit mining, the process results in a smaller physical footprint, no production tailing, and lower carbon dioxide emissions. It really sounds like a perfect solution to me. So CTR's closed-loop direct extraction process will recover lithium from geothermal brine. GM could source a significant portion of its future lithium hydroxide and carbonate from CTR's Hell's Kitchen lithium and power development in the Salton Sea geothermal field. GM's technology is pretty impressive as well, I have to say, in terms of their in-car tech. They plan to start offering AT&T's 5G connectivity in vehicles from May 2024. So that would include this vehicle. The Escalade EV should get 5G connectivity for the smooth operation of its Ultra Cruise functions, which is sort of like Tesla's autopilot. How does it compare to the gas-powered Escalade, and will they sell both at the same time? Well, I think they will. This makes sense on a logical level, considering the Escalade EV could easily coexist with the combustion variant, which features currently a 6.2 litre V8 with 420 horsepower on tap. You can see 420 horsepower or 1000 horsepower. Which one would you choose? I think a lot of people are going to go, yeah, we want the electric version. The issue could be potential demand would be way bigger than supply. GM expects a chunk of its audience to prefer the convenience and dependability of the V8, or what they're used to, not wanting change. It makes sense. And they would want not to displease this buyer who shells out $100,000 plus US dollars by not offering the gas-powered variant as an option, at least for the first couple of years, until people start to say, yeah, that's old technology, we don't want that anymore. The 5th gen Cadillac Escalade is witnessing high demand right now in the US. In Q4 of 2020, it reclaimed its market leadership in the segment in the US. 43% of orders were in configurations costing in 6-digit figures between October and December of 2020. In 2021, the Escalade remained a hot commodity. According to the sales released by General Motors on January the 4th, 2022, Cadillac's largest SUV recorded 40,500 sales in 2021. That's an increase from the 24,547 they sold in 2020, and an increase of a whopping 65%. At this rate, General Motors shouldn't have any problems pitching a US $120,000 plus electric variant to Escalade buyers. And let's be honest, there's a lot more margin involved in that car than what there is in selling cheap $30,000 Bolts. Additionally, GM highlights that this marks the best sales figures for the Cadillac Escalade since 2007. What is important here is that GM is investing big on electric vehicles. They're investing US $35 billion on EVs and autonomous vehicles by 2026. That's a lot of money. GM is doubling down on their electric models and their autonomous vehicles, and the company has announced it plans to increase its investments in EVs and AVs between 2020 and 2025 to US $35 billion. That means they're spending all that within the next 3 years. This marks a 75% increase from the amount it committed to before the pandemic, which was only $20 billion. The company is speeding up plans to construct 2 new battery cell production facilities at home by the middle of the decade. These sites will complement the Ultim Cells LLC plants that are currently under construction in Tennessee and Ohio. That means I'll have 4 sites producing around about 140 gigawatt hours per year of battery cells. And that's quite a lot of cells, but is it enough? Well, we don't know yet. That remains to be seen. What I want to know, would you consider buying a Cadillac SUV electric vehicle? Is that a kind of car you would consider if you were in the market? Personally, probably not something I would buy. They're enormous. I don't need something that big. But I'm a big fan of the GM's Silverado electric pickup. I'll put a video link in the description below to the video I made about that vehicle and why I'm so impressed by it, some of the features that I love, and one particular feature that I love about it. Check out that video. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of General Motors and their plans for electric vehicles over the next decade. Do you think they'll still be around in 2030? Let me know what you think. Have a great day. I'll see you again on the next video. Bye-bye.